Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. It is technically still the morning. In the last episode, we put this hull together with lots of glue. We put the bulkheads in to help to hold together. I've given it a quick sand on some of the edges. I haven't given it a complete sand, which we will do across the whole lot. But right now, just the main joins are all joined together, and it does. It looks pretty good. It's not perfect. The end is most definitely not perfect at the end here, but we did fit it, and I think once the floor goes on, it does. It looks pretty good. It's a good fit for the floor, so not too many problems there at all. So what are we going to do today? I think we're going to do is we're going to do the flooring on this one, and possibly the other flooring. I think there's another level in there, and we're going to do it a little bit different than the hood. So this is interesting. So here is the F sprue, and we'll take the other bit of flooring off. It does have some flooring on there, so we'll take that off. I'm just roughly cutting it off at this stage, just to get it off, and then I'll clean it up once it's no longer on there. Well, that's very interesting. This has already got ladders on it, and look how crisp and clear they are. Let's see if we can get that in a bit closer. Might be clean the lens. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, look at how crisp and the ladders are on this. I mean, that's a nice moulding job. This is actually really nice mould on this ship. Okay, so there's our two main floor pieces, and I'm pretty sure that's all there is. I will double check though. There's one more piece here with just a little bit of flooring mark on there, so we'll take this one off as well, and I'll clean that up while I'm at it. There we go. So there's our three pieces of flooring. If you watch my last series of the hood, you will know that I don't normally paint these. I do have my own way of painting them. Now the last one turned out pretty good, but I was thinking the other day, I wonder if we can do a little bit better. So, yeah, this one's funny. This looks like timber up here, but not here. I'm going to say it's steel work there. And then timber on this side over here. Yeah, so let's get the flooring ready, and we'll come back. So I was down at my local hobby shop the other day, and I do like these, I think you call them Seidel colours. They had contrasting ones, which is almost like the panel accent, but they have their own. Now I bought a couple of these. There is another one there with a bit of red in it. I don't know how thin it is. I'll shake this one up quickly and have a look. Okay, so that's now shaken up. Let's open that up, break the seal. Oh, look at that. Check that out. Well, that's pretty good. Let's get the toothpick out and have a look at that colour for a second. That is a nice colour. That's almost like a blood red. That is a nice colour. Look at that. Let's put it up against. I don't know if I can get in any closer. That is a really nice colour. It's too rich for what I want to do on this floor. And I wasn't sure which one to get. So that one is not going to work for what I want to do. But that is a nice colour anyway. Let's put him aside for a second. This one is more watery, as you can see. I think this one's going to work just fine. So what I'm thinking is we'll get our floor and we'll set it up like last time with the 88. So we'll do that very quickly. So I just grabbed about 3 brush worths of paint, and I'll grab a pipette, and we'll do probably the same as last time, which is 1, 2, 3 big drops. Let's do, it's a fair bit of floor, so let's do one more. It's a big drop. Now, I really wanted this watered down. As you can see, it is pretty watered down. It could probably actually even use another drop of water because that is still a little thick for what I want to do. So I'll do that. I'll add a bit more water. 1, 2, let's even go 3. Straight up and down. Those other ones were quite big and we just, yeah. So what I'm after is basically a really watery base like last time. And how you tell is you're putting it up the side here and you can see it's a bit see-through, it's a bit watery down, and that's the exact consistency that I want. Okay, now we've got that worked out, let's grab the flooring. So just like last time, I'm going to offload some of that paint, and we're just going to come around the plastics. I probably should have some paper down on this. I was thinking that the last time. Anyway, we're just going to rub around where the floor is, and not too particular, just like on the hood. And basically just trying to let it wick its way around to actually paint it. We don't want thick paint on this. And then just like that, just try and stay away from the rail a little bit if you like. And because it's got flooring and it's watery, it just wants to wick all the way around to it. Just like that. We got the big piece of flooring up the front here, so we'll do this on the one piece, just like I showed in the last time, and we'll call this side here the one piece. And then anything we do, we'll do this, show you on this, and I'll do the rest off camera on the big ship, on the big piece of flooring. But basically, it just wants to follow anywhere there's flooring. It does have some resistance there because of whatever they use on the sprues. This kit did not get a wash. Some of you may or may not like that. But anyway, there's the floor, and this way it goes on rather quick. Let's not get the staircase. Doesn't really matter though, because we will use the accent black on those. And we're just running around here. Let's do a little bit on the inside there as well. Clearly that's a gun in there of some sort, or a gun hole. That's the way. You can be pretty relaxed in the way you put this on because the majority of it sticks to the floor. Like that. And then it just seems to want to just stay there. It's good. Try and work with the grain. I know I didn't just then, but only because the camera's making me work on a wrong angle. Let's just try and do that. You'll find once it takes paint once, it'll always take the paint. So this coat is quite hard to do. And the next coat, it's very, very easy to do because paint sticks very well to paint. Again, not too worried about those little boxes there. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. So I'll go away and I'll come back and do the rest. Well, there's the last piece done. The original floor we did together. The big piece is done, and now that piece there. That big one is almost dried, so I would say this one is almost dried as well. We started off on this corner, so let's go back to it, and we'll just redo this corner here. And it should just go down a little better the second time around, which it does. And we're just after that bony Tony look. That's it. I'm not sure we're allowed to say that, bony Tony. But anyway. Bony Tony look. Anyway, yeah, that looks pretty good. So that is pretty good. Let's run around and do the front section. Let's remix this just again, in case the water starts to separate it. And we'll just come around here, just like this. And again, the second coat, it always goes down a little bit better. Just run the brush in along there. It'll find the boards and just wick its way in. That's all we're really trying to do. We're just trying to wick its way in and just sort of keep it fairly neat. Not overly loading the brush up there. Just not too worried about that stuff. I mean, the small ship, it's probably going to get hidden anyway. I will say though, lots and lots of detail in this ship. And I'm quite surprised for a 1700. Or 1720, whichever the one it is. But yeah, that's a good looking ship. Let's get around there, and then we'll flip this around. Let's not forget the inside while we're there. Why not? Not worried about an air because I'm sure there's a structure that goes on there. This is not my first Bismarck, so I do have a little bit of an idea what goes on with this ship. So we'll just quickly do that side. That's it. Beautiful. Turn it around. Let's do the rest of this, and then I'll continue on with the rest of the pieces and then come back just like last time. Let's get around there. That's it. And you're up fairly close. You're not going to see this up as close. So that's all right. Just bleed it in. Cover that as well. I'm sure there's a structure that's going to cover that. And we just need that last little bit across the back here. Unfortunately, we have to go against the grain with that one. And just let it wick in. And that's it. So we will continue on with the rest of it. And I'll come back just like the last time with this. That's the second coat on. Well, there's our second coat done on all these pieces. One coat is definitely not enough. Two is probably close. Let's have a look at the dry one. So there's the dry one. I'm probably going to say let's do one more. Although I do not know because I want to, so basically what I'm trying to do is let's do an experiment on the back here because we can always fix this up if we have to. So I've just cleaned that brush off. There's no paint in it. It's maybe feel a little wet, but it's basically dry. And what I wanted to try and do, which this is just an experiment, it's probably the only thing I don't like about these things. I do understand why they're there because they're like you put the paint up here and then you just paint, which is probably okay for this section. And I wanted to just touch it around and see what it did. I'm not saying it's going to work. I just wanted a different floor than the hood. It's a bit more of a reddy grain floor, isn't it? It's alright, that'll work. And with the lighter colour underneath, yeah, I reckon that's going to work. With the lighter colour underneath, that's just enough to sort of say, I'm a woody brown colour. Let's get that all the way in there. Just really taking the tip off there. I could probably go a little heavier and just let it wick around. Oh yeah, that works too. Yeah, that's a different kind of look, isn't it? Let's just wick that around there a little bit. Well, what I'm saying is, and that's kind of finished. It's kind of got, in actual fact, the stuff is going into the grain, giving it that woody grain look. I'm going to continue with this, with the rest of it, and I'm going to come back. Well, that one is done. This one is now drying off. I'm going to tell you, that's a good look. That's a very good look. This one's still drying off. It's not quite there yet, but Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to come out the same. It could use just a little more on the other side over here. So let's just sprinkle some of that on there. Bit like that. So I guess you kind of don't want it on there too thin. You just want to let it wick around. And when it wicks around, it does what it needs to do. Just a little more over here. Yeah, I think we almost need to put it on the same way we originally put the other paint on, which is just surplus, and just let it wick around. And it'll probably help with the floor look anyway. So there you go, there it is. Let's let that one dry off. Well, there's that piece finished, and I got to tell you, it looks rather good. It's a little uneven, which is what you want from timber floor. This is sort of drying off now, and just from when I put it on and off, and just, yeah, it's got that timbery look to it, so that is working rather well. Probably not as well with this one because I've kind of gone against the grain, but I can easily just go back up and just fill in those little pieces that look a little odd, just there like that. But again, pretty good, pretty happy with that. Let's get the last little piece on. We'll do this one on the camera. Now, I did realise that it's no good if you flood it and no good if it's too dry. So you want somewhere in the middle. Flooding it just doesn't do it well. And it does dry off a little differently than what it does when it goes on. So I know I'm going against the grain there, but it's all right. Yeah, so that is almost done. Probably just a little dry. There we go, we got it. Okay, so that is all that's needed. We just put it on, let it dry off, and I think what we'll do now is we'll let that dry off, and I think we'll call that an episode there for today. So thank you very much for watching. This was something I've been wanting to do for a little while now with the painting, especially on the timber floors, and I think it's worked out rather well. There's the colour again, just one more time, just in case you want to try it yourself. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. I brought this ship out of its hiding place because I was going to do another episode on the rigging, and it's been sitting here just on the side here with the light on it, and it looks kind of smallish here in this in the camera, but it's quite big. This ship, seriously, it's a gorgeous ship. I know Jeff Donahue wanted to see the floor, so there's more of the floor there, Jeff. The floor is not varnished, but the rest of the ship is. Yeah, this is a beautiful looking ship. I don't know if the camera just doesn't do it justice, but it's quite busy what's going on in there now too, with the boats and the planes and other bits and pieces. The only thing it's really missing is the rigging and the chain, which I never really worked out what I was going to do. So anyway, let's get off that track.